Hello, and welcome to another spectacular update of my LEGO City project. In this video, we're completely reimagining the historic district of the city. We'll be tearing down some buildings and introducing fresh, improved designs. So, stick around. The changes will focus on the right side of the old city center. Here, we'll remove the light brown building and the parking lots to create space for new and upgraded designs. That gap between the buildings has been bothering me for ages, so it's finally time to fill it in. My plan is to keep the parking spaces but give them a more integrated look by constructing a roof over them. This roof will be supported by beautiful arches made from old-style masonry bricks, giving it a classic, historical vibe. On top of the roof, I'll be adding several residential complexes that blend seamlessly into the rest of the historic architecture, making it all look like one cohesive block of old buildings. To make this happen, I had to completely redesign the entire area. As you can see in the footage, it was a monumental task. Thankfully, I sped up the process by 60 times, so you don't have to spend hours watching me move bricks around. The walls with glass panels are made using light gray masonry bricks, forming the base structure for the roof. This had to be extremely sturdy since it will support multiple buildings on top. The result? A design that's both functional and aesthetically in line with the historic district. Stay tuned for the rest of the video to see how these new designs come together and how the city starts to take on its refreshed look. Now that the first major task is complete, we can see the foundation of the new design taking shape. This will serve as the starting point for further development to create an even better final result. In addition to this part of the city, I also plan to relocate the Shell gas station to the back of the city. This will allow me to extend the row of historic buildings all the way down this street. Just imagine how stunning this street will look once the project is finished. Lined with beautiful historic facades, creating a cohesive and timeless vibe. However, while building the roof over the parking lot, I started to realize that this design wasn't turning out quite the way I had envisioned. My concern was that it wouldn't have the authentic old-world look that matches the rest of the historic district. After much thought, I made a bold decision: to tear everything down and make way for design number 2. By removing the road and parking spaces entirely, I've created a massive open area with endless possibilities. This space is now ready for new, large-scale buildings that will complement the rest of the historic complexes in this part of the city. This change gives me the opportunity to create something truly special and in line with the historic aesthetic I'm aiming for. I'm planning to build 2 large structures, and for that I'll need a lot of 2x2 stud windows. Unfortunately, I ran out of stock, but luckily, I still had a tall skyscraper that was packed with these windows. When I first built that skyscraper, I couldn't imagine ever taking it apart. But here we are. As my loyal viewers know, I now only build structures that meet 100% of my standards. The white skyscraper was a great design, but I'm committed to pushing my builds to even greater heights in the future. Taking it down was bittersweet, but as you can see in the footage, dismantling it freed up a massive amount of bricks, which will be incredibly useful for my upcoming projects. With the windows collected, I can now start working on the foundation of my new design. My plan is to create a historical building packed with intricate details and a mix of colors. By combining light gray and red-brown masonry bricks, I'll achieve a unique look with plenty of variation, reminiscent of architectural styles from the early 1800s. As you can see in the video, I'm experimenting with different shapes before settling on the final design. Being a very visual person, I need to see how the forms come together before deciding if they meet my expectations. My current plan is to turn this into a town hall, but I'm open to suggestions. Do you have a better idea for what this building could be? Let me know in the comments, and who knows? Your suggestion might become part of this beautiful design. In my opinion, this building is best suited to be a government building or perhaps a bank. After all, in cities like London and Paris, you often find these types of institutions located in prominent areas like this. What do you think? Do you have any better ideas for what this building could be? Let me know in the comments. Now that the foundation is complete, it's time to start adding some details, starting with a canopy above the main entrance. This small addition adds so much character, don't you think? With the gaps now filled, we can move on to the back of the building. The rear of the structure is going to be particularly interesting, as I'm incorporating a rounded element into the design. This is the first time I've attempted a rounded shape in a historical building, so I'm excited to see how it turns out. The plan is to create a small tower that slightly rises above the rest of the structure. I've used a similar design for the train station, and it added a fantastic touch to the overall look of the building. The building will have 3 floors in total, so it aligns with the height of the surrounding structures. I've also ordered new roof bricks to ensure all the corners are neatly finished, mimicking the realistic details you'd see on actual historic buildings. Now that the final shape has come together, you can see how it turned out. Personally, I'm really happy with the result and can't wait to start building the upper floors. To add even more detail and variation, I plan to give the middle floors a white color. This will break up the gray and brown tones and create a striking contrast that I believe will enhance the overall aesthetic. As you can see in the footage, I've finished the top edges of the walls with tiles. This allows me to build the second floor as a modular addition, making the structure easier to assemble and adjust later on. Now that the building is in its place in the city, you can better visualize how it will look alongside the other structures. I intentionally chose these colors because they complement the surrounding designs. I want to create plenty of variation, but at the same time, I don't want to use too many colors, as that might make the scene look chaotic and less realistic. After all, in real historic cities, you rarely see bright yellow or blue buildings, right? The light gray and red-brown tones, in my opinion, fit perfectly with the adjacent train station and the large gray building across the street. Next to this building, I'm planning another large structure. This will be a rectangular building measuring an impressive 32 studs wide by 38 studs long. I'll primarily use light brown masonry bricks for the walls to ensure it matches well with the surrounding architecture. This building will complete the historic street, and I can't wait to see the final result once it's fully finished. Do you want to see how it turns out? Make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any updates. Are you curious about how I come up with my designs and how you can build a Lego city like this while keeping costs as low as possible? For just a small monthly fee, you can become a channel member and gain access to exclusive videos where I explain my process and share tips and tricks. In the next video, we'll continue working on this section of the city, so don't forget to subscribe, become a member, and I'll see you in the next update.